Hey guys, I just want to take a minute to explain what I want you to do on Edmodo this week. There are two things that you need to complete. The first thing is the quiz that I mentioned in the previous Jupiter Grades email. That quiz is right here. Now, if you notice, you get credit for taking the quiz. You will get no credit for not taking the quiz. All that I want to see for this week is just to see what you guys retained from the lesson. It'll help me plan for next week, and I kind of want to test out the quiz feature and maybe use it for future classes or future weeks. But for right now, I just kind of want to see, all right, after sitting in class this week, after reading what you have read, can you answer these 10 questions in 5 minutes? So feel like 5 minutes is enough time for you to tell me if you know it or you don't. I don't expect you to do any preparation for this or have your book out or anything like that. It's just a quick view to let me know if you have taken away what you need to take away from class. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is this week's set of discussion questions. So I'm going to go to folders, go to discussion questions, and you'll notice that I have week 2 discussion questions here. So let's take a look. Probably should have had this opened already, so hold on just a second. Basically, what I want you to do in week 2 is expand on what was already done in week 1. So first, let's look at the due dates. I'm assigning it today. I don't expect you to have anything done until Tuesday, however, but if you have time this weekend, go for it. I don't think phase 1 will take you very long, and it is due Thursday before we leave. So you can read over this. I'm giving you a really brief overview of what I want. I took the time to write down the directions. I expect you to go over them on your own before you complete the assignment, but basically here's what you're going to look at. First, you're going to look at which group you are assigned, and you're going to find those posts in the discussion thread on Edmodo. So let's scroll down. I want you to notice I have taken I've taken each group and I've reassigned you to a new group. So the original group for question 1 was Patrick, Barrett, Ava, and Robin. This week, Sarah, Eleanor, Jesse, and Annie are going to ask a new question of the original group. So the new 4 people, Sarah, Eleanor, Jesse, and Annie, you are each going to choose one of the previous posts from one of the original people, and you are going to ask a question of their original post. So that's phase 1. So for example, okay, I went and looked at Edmodo and I copied Joaquin's original post. So if we go here and I go back to the home page, you scroll down, this is Joaquin's original post. Okay, all I did was copy and paste it into my document. Yay, Joaquin, I picked yours. Woohoo. I didn't pick it for any particular reason. It just, I happened to want to talk about the Navy this morning. So looked at Joaquin's original post, and then if you notice, Joaquin was question 4. So I looked at it as, okay, one of these 3 people needs to ask a question of the original group. So I accidentally wrote Michaela's name. Michaela, you're not in that group. Don't do this question. So let's imagine it's Emily. I'll fix that. So if I was Emily, I could say, Joaquin, I found it interesting that Texas has 2 completely different sets of ships in such a short amount of time. Why did the Republic of Texas acquire a completely new navy 2 years after the Revolution? Okay, so now it's Joaquin's job to look at the question that's asked of him and do some more research. Maybe Joaquin remembers the answer from one of his sources. He just needs to type a paragraph. Okay, it doesn't even have to be this long. It can be 3 sentences this week. Answering the question. Now, maybe Joaquin's sitting there going, shoot, Emily, I have absolutely no idea how to answer this question. Okay, Joaquin, that's okay. You need to provide support that says, this is why I have no idea. The sources that I found only talk about the need for a navy, but nobody really has it posted where, giving reasons why we have a new navy. So here's a sample response. So I answered this as if I was Joaquin. So I should have said Emily because Michaela's not in the group. So Emily, excellent question. My original sources did not state a specific reason for the shift, but looking closely at the reasons for each ship's decommission, which means you either sell or break apart the ships, so why they're no longer used, It seems that ships were either wrecked or worn out and used for scrap. This leads me to believe that Texas was using ships that were heavily worn to begin with, and we needed to replace most of them so that we could maintain a navy that could continue to fight during the Republic period. That means the Republic of Texas. What good would a decrepit navy serve if it could not protect us from our enemies? To answer your question, it is not that Texas sold and then purchased a new navy. We had to purchase a new navy so that we could keep up against our enemies. So Joaquin admitted that his sources did not come out and say, this is why we have a second navy. But what it did do is it showed, he kind of gave some logic. He's like, I looked at my sources, they gave reasons for the ships going away, which in his second source, if you go here, okay, this is Joaquin's second source. It shows disposition, sold, disposition, wrecked, disposition, wrecked, disposition, surrendered, so didn't break down, but we got rid of it. Disposition, served as station and receiving ship. Okay, so that means it was still functioning. Disposition, grounded and scrapped, so that means they ran it aground so it couldn't sail anymore, and then they took it apart. So they're not coming out and saying, hey, this is what happened, but Joaquin used reason to come up with his own conclusion. So that's what I want you to do. So all of you have a new set of directions. Here's your timeline. Okay, so by Tuesday, you need to complete steps 1 and 2. So step 1 was find, a new group member. So I happened to pair up with Joaquin. Okay, read the original member's post and come up with a new question. So this is find the post. This is post a new question. So that is what you need to do by Tuesday. By Thursday, the original person needs to provide a different response. So that's it for this week. If you have any questions, please email me. I'll be available this weekend. I hope you had a lot of fun at Goliad, and I will see you on Monday.